Welcome back to Intentional Parenting here at Mariners Church. My name is Jared, and this is a place where we sit down together. We have conversations with pastors and friends, and the idea is that we can remind ourselves that there are no perfect parents, but there can be some intentional ones. And today I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, one that I am a little nervous about because this is Justin Herman, the one and only, our online discipleship pastor.
You know,
what a guy.
Your one piece of advice to me was be yourself. Mm-hmm. So those are words you're going to have to live by.
Yeah, I'm going to take it back now.
You know, hey, can I just start off by saying first, I really love this podcast. All right, thank you for doing it.
Yep.
I have kids with special needs. The special needs episode we did with Susie was incredible. And I think more parents need to listen to them.
Yeah.
And thank you personally. You've been a friend of me for a very long time. I don't, maybe like 8 people listening know like how much you've done for me as a friend. But for those 8 people, like I just want you to know, man, you do a lot for our church. You do a lot for me personally. You are a friend, and this is going to be a great episode.
I'm really looking forward to it. I do love you, and I love the arc of your whole life.
Yes. And
honestly, even in the last, I don't even know, 10 years that we've known each other. Yeah. There's been a lot of life in that 10 years.
Yes. I've had all my kids in the last 10 years. I've had the best parts of my marriage in the last 10 years. The best parts of my personal development's been the last 10 years. Best healthy days of my life the last 10 years.
Yeah.
The last decade, God has been really good to me. And I think good doesn't always mean the plan that I would want. I think good means the plan that he would want and the hope that I'm going to participate in that plan.
Yeah.
And not fight against it and not become full of grudges that it didn't go the way I wanted.
Yeah.
The last 10 years has been very good to me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Especially as a parent.
Well, we worked together in youth ministry. So I was a high school pastor while you were junior high ministry. Yep. And then now you're serving as our online pastor. Why don't you give us a little context of what that looks like?
Okay. So I get to pastor and lead the online community. These are people around the world, around the country. And really to boil it down, I want to bring the fullness of our church's strategy, the transformational loop. I want to bring the fullness of that to the online community. So I want to see people taking steps in their faith. I want to see people doing rooted, getting into life groups, serving. We're just launching Regen online with leaders from Utah and the state of Washington.
That's great.
Who are so the leaders that they don't live here. A couple of them are OCRM graduates. I love that. And they are incredible leaders who are just helping pieces of our church come to life. So I get to do that on an every week basis. I get to pray with people from Mariners Online. I get to make sure all of our volunteers are cared for. Yeah. I get to see and hear these stories and share these stories with the staff, which is incredible. But in the end, I mean, it's taking the life of our church and seeing it expand globally, and that's a beautiful thing. Yeah,
it is. You have such a pastor's heart. You always have. Your love for people is the thing that shines through the most with you. It's amazing. For context, Regen and OCRM, the rescue mission here in Orange County, graduates from there serving our online community through a program called Regen or Regeneration. This is all about naming and overcoming some of the addictions in our life.
Which is huge.
What a gift.
Which was brought to our church by our former online pastor, Paul Hahn.
That's true.
Who's a great dude.
Yeah.
And so like just seeing the ministry taking place in all these different spheres is a beautiful thing. Like it's a unique spot to stand kind of above in the digital space and see all of this unfold. And then see people from online jump into a congregation. And we have a bunch of people who've jumped from online to the San Clemente campus or the Yorba Linda campus that was just launched. And seeing that happen, like that's a beautiful thing. Seeing people from Irvine traveling for work and they're jumping in and serving online because they still want to keep serving their church even though they're traveling a ton. Or they're going back to visit, one of our best leaders goes back to South Korea to be with her parents. They're aging. And she hosts online, when she's traveling. Like, it's just a beautiful thing. I love it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is great. The idea that people are the flexibility and to be able to serve anywhere for the online community, what a gift.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, give us a sense of your home. I can only imagine how chaotic your home must feel a lot of the time. Because you're in it, and then you have all of these kids. You have so many kids. So how many years have you and Brittany been married?
My wife is listening, nodding her head. Yeah, Jared has it right, exactly. We've been married 13 years.
13. I remember being in at your wedding. Yep. Rainy day.
In
a giant tent.
Giant tent on the tennis court.
It was perfect.
All changed 24 hours before the wedding, right?
That's right.
Which resonates with me. Like that's the kind of wedding I want. I think she was freaking out.
Yeah, you planned it.
13 years, 4 kids.
Okay.
First one, then we had a second one kind of right after.
Yes.
Really quick.
Yep.
Now we had trouble getting pregnant
okay.
for a while. We went through And there's a lot of pain and struggle in the fertility process. And we went through that for months and months. And then I remember it was a couple of pastors at our church who prayed over Britt and me.
Oh, really?
And then we decided to take a break from the fertility stuff.
Of course.
After we came back from a pastor's retreat in Texas, which you were there, and I was there. And we went on a little trip, just the two of us. And God does.
Isn't that how it happens, though?
It is. For us, it was, and it's different for everybody. And it was beautiful for us. And then really quick afterwards, we got pregnant with number 2.
Okay.
Then we spent a couple of years, no kids, just raising our 2. During COVID, we decided to have another.
You wanted the girl.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted I wanted a bigger family.
You had 2 boys.
2 boys.
It's the classic story of we've got to figure out how to get a girl.
Well, I always wanted a big family too. I came from a very small family, so I wanted a big family.
Right.
And if we had a girl, this would be the best news ever. Well, God blessed us with number 3 and 4, okay? Twins. And when I found out, it was the best news ever. Yeah. She was completely freaked out. And the video of it is incredible because I wasn't there because it was COVID, so you couldn't go to these appointments at the time. And she came home and told me, over the moon excitement.
Oh, she went to an ultrasound and you weren't.
She's in the ultrasound.
Oh, wow.
Videoing it. The person's doing the ultrasound.
I'm pretty sure that you would have been allowed to go. I think maybe Brittany wanted a little break.
Well, so she was like, "Do you want me to take you?" And I said,
"I'm joking, dude. I'm just giving you a hard time."
They asked. They're like, "Hey, is your husband in the car?" And they're like, "Oh no, he's at home." And she's like, "Okay, well." And she's recording. She's like, "Do you see what I see?" And she's like, "It looks like there's 2." She's like, "You're having twins," which is spontaneous. Like a spontaneous thing is very rare.
Okay,
especially to find out in the ultrasound room. It was awesome.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. So now I have 2 5-year-olds. So a 10, a 9, and 2 5-year-olds now.
Oh man.
One of them's a girl, boy, girl, twins. It's the coolest. Not identical. That'd be weird.
So give us a sense of just what does home feel like for you? What's a day in the life of you as dad in the home?
It's chaotic. It is arguments at times. It is fun. It's teaching them how to love their siblings. It's routine. I think we thrive on routine. Brittany leads the routine thing. It's us having these impromptu discussions and impromptu learnings. It's us cleaning up a lot because we don't want to leave a chaotic house.
Yeah.
It's us preparing, whatever memory creating thing we want to create. Maybe we're going to bake something that night, or we're going to do a movie night, or we're going to do, there's some craft thing. It's fun. I mean, I want to have fun at home. I want the house filled with music and laughter, but it still needs to be clean. There still needs to be structure. There still needs to be like all of our backpacks are in a certain spot, all of our water bottles, all of our like lunch boxes. Like, so there's a structure and there's a routine. But we still want to have fun and enjoy time with each other. I mean, we have an awesome house. We have, the whole family's under one roof. We have this big common area. We're able to just jump on the couch and have fun together. And we want that. We want more of that.
Yeah. Well, you do a great job of sharing your life on Instagram.
Yes.
And just getting to see the peek behind the curtain of just what your home feels like. And it does look incredibly fun, a little dangerous, and exactly like you want it.
Well, it's dangerous. So I think that, especially having boys, I really believe strongly.
And you have like the quintessential boy.
Yes.
You really do.
Absolutely. And you have to do as long as you're doing dangerous things carefully. So it's not just like hey, here's a bunch of BB guns and it's not recklessness.
Right.
It's structured, intense boy play. And especially at their home, there's probably things they can get away with at home that they couldn't get away with at church. They couldn't get away with at school.
Sure.
And that's allowed. Like there's a little bit of let your hair down, which
I can't wait.
All right.
Where are you going?
Well, I have no hair, so
That's
it's funny for me to use a hair reference.
I was going to use it too.
When you go home, you think like, okay, I can let my hair down. I'm not like being seen. I can be myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a boy in its natural state is full of energy, a little chaotic. They want to jump. They want to crawl. They want to climb. At home, like that's a safe place to do those things. Where we would say no to that at a Walmart or a Target or at a Meritor's church, like in the lobby.
Yeah,
we would say yes to that at home, and so we want to provide that safe place for them to be themselves. Like that's a good thing.
It's good. You let your hair down so well it actually went away, which is so crazy. Okay, so Justin, you have one of the craziest backstories.
Yes.
Just your upbringing in your childhood. You can share whatever you'd like, but could you give us just a sense of the home that you grew up in and the backdrop of that?
So the home I grew up in.
I'm going to start a clock. You have like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'll make it really short. I was adopted from New York City. I was adopted to a family, and I grew up in Buffalo, New York. I'm a huge Bills fan. I lived.
How's that going?
at the point of this recording, it's going really well. We'll see by the time this airs how it's still going. And growing in Buffalo was awesome. Okay, it's a blue collar town. It's a snow-filled town. Mm-hmm. It's you learn to shovel the driveway at a young age kind of town. Mm-hmm. And my mom was great. I had a sister who ended up like leaving the home about when I was about 3 years old, because she was adopted a couple different times through different homes and foster care, and went through abuse, and
Wow.
they didn't know how to handle kids with that kind of trauma in the 80s. They just didn't know how to handle it. And my parents ended up getting divorced when I was about 7, and my dad left in the worst way you could leave, just kind of went out guns blazing. And it was just me and my mom. So we were on welfare for a while. We were on food stamps for a while. We were going down and getting government assistance to pay our heating bill for a while. And I was standing in all those lines with her because you just kind of had to. And then we grew up Jewish, and we couldn't afford to go to temple anymore because we just couldn't pay the cost for Hebrew school and all the things. Wow. And it was a friend of hers that invited her to church. And I went to church for the very first time with her. And
about what age was that?
About 7.5, 8 years old.
Okay. Said
yes to Jesus the very beginning. And it started a lifelong of faith. And then it was really just me and her until I went away to college, and then eventually got married and the whole thing. But my life was the life of being with a single mom my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a backstory. Like, what a home to come from. The strength of your mom.
Oh gosh.
Also
absolutely.
the strength of that town. I mean, you have to be a strong individual to be in that setting, and then to make it through that. But then also there's an end to your own strength and a need for Jesus in there.
Oh, 100%.
Right? There's an admittance that we can't make this on our own.
Well, the thing that drew me to Jesus, and everyone falls differently on this, and I'm sure you've heard this a million times. Okay, when you look at Jesus as and God as a heavenly Father, people who didn't grow up with a father will come at it two different ways. They will either be kind of repulsed by it, like, oh, like a heavenly father, like I had an earthly father who wasn't there, or they will gravitate toward, like, I didn't have an earthly father. Like, this is a heavenly father that's going to love me and be there for me and welcome me in. Like, I was on that side. So when I hear a story about a heavenly father that loves me, that wants me, that like my own dad couldn't make time for me.
Sure.
Like, I have a heavenly father that's going to listen to me, and like, and it's going to take a little work because it's God, and there's a lot to understand there.
Right.
But he cares for me. Like, I gravitate toward that.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge shift in my life. It was like, I think faith becomes a defining shift in their lives.
Right.
When they say, well, I can't anymore. And I'm not going to do it anymore on my own. I'm going to do it with someone. Now, passing that on to my kids is an important thing.
Right.
But like, I pass it on to my kids through the lens of how I even myself experienced it, and knowing that it'll be different because they're not going to approach him the same way because they have an earthly father. They have me all around.
Totally.
And so some of my example as a dad, I know is going to speak into how they view God as a father. And like, that's something that's on my mind I wouldn't say constantly, but it's on my mind enough in how we deal in discipline and how I tie it back to who Jesus is and who God is.
Right.
But those aspects of faith that my mom created an opportunity for me to engage in was life defining.
Right. It's fascinating the way you're setting that up. That depending on the landscape of your family, the backdrop of your childhood, you may view God one of a couple ways, and then. The fascinating thing I've noticed about perhaps our generation, those of us who are like very present with our kids, like we're not missing a soccer game. We're going to be in the classroom when we're able. We all have full-time jobs, et cetera, et cetera. But you know what I mean? Like, we're going to really tap in. Yeah. We are breaking a cycle, which means that we're actually raising kids in a very different environment than we were raised.
100%.
Which puts us in a spot of like, I'm actually in uncharted waters all the time. I don't really know what I'm doing. I know that this is better, but I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to do this. Do you find yourself in that place?
One time my father, who I speak to very rarely, it's been a while, one time during a heated conversation after my mom passed away, he said, you should thank me, because if it wasn't for me leaving, you wouldn't have the grit you have.
Wow.
Talk about someone who lacked complete self-awareness as a dad. Okay?
Yes.
So talk about someone who had no idea the unintended consequences of their decisions and the selfishness of that. Yeah. And still wanted to make it about him, that I should thank him.
Of course.
So I look at that, like, that has stuck with me, obviously. And I look at that and I think of, my kids are going to have a life. completely void of some aspects, but they're also going to be completely shaped by other aspects. And I have, as a dad, complete control of that. Like their upbringing, who they become, how they view themselves, how they view women one day, how they view their dating life, how they view the relationship with their teachers, how they view their relationship with their mom. All these things, I have such strong control over it by the decisions I make. And if I choose to be lackadaisical about it, or to phone it in, or, oh, it's no big deal. I think how we do anything is how we do everything when it comes to being a dad.
Right.
And those aspects to me, I never want to look at my kid and say, well, you really should thank me for that. No, it's not that kind of a relationship. You are going to become the man you are because hopefully you'll learn from enough of the example that I've created for you that you'll be able to make your own bold decisions. And I'm rooting for you along the way. I think the father-son relationship is one of the only ones where the dad truly wants the son to surpass him and succeed. There's not a lot of other male relationships where they just, with total humility, want that guy to succeed and surpass them.
Sure.
I want my boys to succeed and surpass me in big ways. And I lead them in that. I hopefully lead the family in that direction.
Well, society would probably be far better off if we treated all our relationships like that. Like actually wanting everyone to surpass each of us. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, that would be incredible. That would be incredible. And since you can't find it in society, good thing you can find it in the family.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly right. As the family is able, and hopefully for a generation of every family being able to do this and have that belief, that will have a ripple effect, not just in more families.
No, I hope so.
But in the workplace and on a team and other things.
I hope so.
That statement your dad made, that's a harsh, painful, as you said, it's seared in your own memory, right?
Yeah.
The great challenge for all of us is that no matter how good of a parent we are, that we never find ourselves saying that same thing to our own kids.
Yeah.
Because it isn't about us.
It's not about us. And the things we have are gifts from God.
Yeah.
We're made in the image of God.
Right.
The things we have are a gift from him. So the grit we have, the personalities we have, the skills we have, those are a gift from him. And we're going to exacerbate those through the opportunities we get to put those on display and sharpen those and use those. But, being a parent and the words we say, they stick with our kids in big ways. And it's not about us. I think the more we point them toward Jesus is important. I think the more that we shape them in who we believe that God's created them to be and what their gifts, their talents are, those are the important things.
Yeah. So adoption, mom,
Mm-hmm.
incredible strength, brings you to a church, you accept Jesus. It's this crazy picture of that's now your third family in a sense.
Yeah.
You have the biological family, the adopted family, now you have the kingdom of God and his family.
Yep.
So as you think about even recently, I know you reconnected with some of your extended biological family.
So that's so crazy.
What was that paradigm shift for you?
So for the first thing, it was never hidden from me that I was adopted, first of all. So it was never like this big mystery that I found. I stumbled on some paperwork and it wasn't like that. I always knew I was adopted.
Right.
And the story my mama always said, we couldn't have kids, but we wanted to have kids.
Right.
And God brought us to you. Even the Jews believe in God. So, God brought us to you, right? So we were praying for it and God brought us you and you're our son. And it was never hidden I was adopted. When I was like in my late teens, I started having questions about my biological family. And really the question was rooted in this. Who I am, the way I view the world, my personality, things I do, did that come from them? Like I'd love to meet them. I'd love to see if a lot of those things or traits came from them. I brought it up to my mom one time and like a lot of single moms, the look on her face kind of dropped.
Sure.
Because there was a piece of her that was hurt by that.
Yeah. Okay. Am I not enough?
Yeah. And I dropped the subject.
Okay.
Didn't bring it up again.
As a teenager and went, this is
dropped it.
Too hard for mom.
When she passed away, I said, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Joined the DNA testing thing, whatever it is.
Yes.
And I got matched with someone.
Okay.
Who's like a cousin.
Okay.
But it was enough DNA there to see like, hey, there's some relationship here. I messaged that person and over a couple years of talking, like it was determined like, hey, my dad is your brother. And she was reluctant to share that with him because there's a couple other half siblings around the world that my biological father kind of set up franchises in different places.
We're doing the math. Gotcha.
Yeah. And they, and then I finally brought it up to him, and he was enthusiastic about it. Like, oh my God, you got to introduce us. You got to connect us. And so got connected. I had a lifetime of 1 million questions that were answered in 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, just the stuff I've wondered about forever.
Really?
Who he is, how my parents met, like how they got together, why I was put up for adoption, what was his childhood like,
Yeah.
what did he do for a living, everything. Wow. I found it all out. And then in this past year, flew to New York City, got together with my 3 half brothers.
Yes.
And hung out in New York and shared tons of stories.
Are they also bald?
One of them is.
Okay. I'm just trying to get the genetics out of the way.
One of them is, the other one of them's hanging on. And I know they'll listen to this. And one of them has beautiful jet black hair.
Wow.
He's killing it.
The jealousy you feel.
I am jealous. He has beautiful hair. And they're all awesome. They're all married. They
what a
all
wild
have kids. It is so insane.
I remember talking to you before. You were like, should I do this? Am I going to go?
I'm so nervous. I was so nervous.
I don't think I would have gone, to be totally clear with you.
The way it came up was they said,
I want to be clear. For me, yeah, I think it's a great decision for you. If I was in your position, I don't think that I'm willing enough to put myself out there.
I was trying to get out of it. I told, because they were like, oh, you should come to New York. We should hang out.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. Let me pass it up the chain to the boss. Sure. Let's see what she says. They're like, oh, babe, my half brothers want me to come out to New York City for a week, for like 4 days and go to a Bills game and and hang out. Oh, you should absolutely go.
Amazing.
You should do it. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you'll regret it if you don't go. And so she was the biggest cheerleader for me going. But I was nervous. Of course. Because really at the core of it is our dad had a kid with someone else.
Of course.
And you're the proof of it. Mm-hmm. And that's so strip away all the stuff. And we're all in our 40s, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm the youngest of the 3 of them.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Okay.
So like strip all that away. Like that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
But, and now we're going to deal with this in our adulthood. And they were awesome. They were amazing about it. They were humble about it. They were affirming about it. They took me around New York and showed me like where he used to work.
Wow.
Places that they went when they were kids. And there was a lot of pieces that were filled in about my who I am, in some ways, where I came from, the things that are just in me genetically, things that are just that all of us have, mannerisms that all of us have.
Oh, really?
Which is weird, right? All of us have similar mannerisms on certain things. We have a similar upbringing because their dad left when they were young and started other stuff. Basically abandoned them.
Right.
Like I was abandoned around the same age, and so like there's a similar. They were raised by their single mom, who like in New York City, single mom raising 3 boys. Like like that is grit. Like that's hardcore.
Yeah, totally.
And she would have loved my mom, and my mom would have loved her. They would have got along great. But so there's a similar upbringing that all of us kind of share in a unique way. Like it was great.
Man,
it was great.
And what a thing for you to come home and to look at your own family. Like you got a glimpse into this alternate universe in a sense of just what else is out there. That's so fascinating already. But then to come home and to just then see this amazing family that you're building and creating and shaping and to look at them perhaps even a little bit differently. I'm curious, even just as you and Brittany are building your family, what are the values? Like what are those things that drive the Herman household? You've mentioned already, it's going to be dangerous but safe enough.
Dangerous, fun, safe enough. Responsibility, integrity, ownership. I can call it goes in one. We just don't do excuses. If you get in trouble at school, it's not because Jimmy forced you to get into trouble. It's because you did it, bro. Like ownership.
Let's talk about Jimmy. Who is this?
Yeah,
Who is this
Jimmy's
kid?
a trauma. No, Jimmy's a made-up name for any parents listening from the school. Ownership's a huge one. Integrity. Like who's God calling you to be? What kind of brother? What kind of son? What kind of grandson, grandchild, whatever. I'd probably say another one is so values are a unique thing. Because there's values that we'd say, well, yeah, these are the values of our family. These are aspirational. Like we are going to be an ownership kind of family. We're going to be an integrity-filled family. You're taking responsibility kind of family. Then there's other values that, as you take out the wide lens, you're like, oh, well, this is kind of who we've always been. one of the core values is we can do anything for a certain amount of time. Kind of, that's a value. Okay. We can do any hard thing, any difficult thing. We can do anything for a certain amount of time.
Sure.
And we're going to be okay. And we're going to do it together. So like there was a season when Britt was pregnant that we actually lived in Riverside at her parents' house, and so she could live closer to where she worked.
Sure.
And I made the commute down to Mariners for like 8 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I left at like 4 a.m. Like it was crazy. But anyone can do anything for a certain amount of time.
Sure.
Like there is an amount of time where we had our kids on virtual kindergarten. He was doing virtual kindergarten because we were, getting him ready for this private Christian school. But we had to do this thing in Arizona because I live in Arizona. And it's like, okay, anyone can do anything for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Like there's things throughout our life that we'd say that has become a value for us. Anyone can do anything for a certain amount of time.
Have you already, I recognize that that's a value that you and Brittany have, that you're able to live that out. I'm curious if you've noticed that as something true in your kids, or is that something that you're going, no, this is who we are as a family. We're going to shape them into a kid who can do that.
Yes, we're shaping them into a kid who can do that for sure. This is something that so like for instance, when we moved to the family to Arizona, it was because our in-laws were very close with our family. My mom's gone, my dad is gone, and we want to be close to her parents.
Yeah.
It was one of the things that motivated us moving from Orange County, Riverside at the very beginning. And so when they said, hey, we're going to retire and move to Arizona, you should join us.
Right.
We said, well, absolutely. We want our kids to grow up close to their grandparents.
Yeah.
So family is a huge, that is the most important, a very, very important thing. Jesus is the most important thing. Family's right there. And so when we moved to Arizona, I took a job that started immediately. Well, the kids weren't done with school for, 6 months or 4 months or whatever it was. I think it was 4. And so I moved to Arizona and I was separate from them. And Cannon didn't understand it. He hated it.
Sure.
It's like, hey, we can do anything for a certain amount of time. I'm going to FaceTime you every night, where I'm going to call you. I'm going to be home on the weekends.
Right.
And so that was them learning this value that, hey, in the Herman family, we can do hard things. We can do anything for a certain amount of time. It's okay.
Yeah.
And guess what? We got through it. It was okay. He learned that.
Yeah.
When we go through seasons of discipline, he learns that. When and Becca the same way. When we go through seasons of we have a long-term sub in the classroom that we really don't kind of get along with, we can learn that, hey,
sure,
the Hermans, we can do anything for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
With it. And there's going to be an end point. Okay, this isn't unlimited forever.
Sure.
But being able to do hard things for a season is an important thing for kids to learn.
Right.
And I think it's something that we've done as a family, and we'll continue teaching to them.
Yeah, the topic today so much in culture is the soft parenting thing, right? Where there's just so many parents that are afraid to discipline or put hard boundaries or let their kids down, right? You are careful now, but you do seem like you're just naturally your natural disposition is, I want my kids to be tough and have that grit in a sense.
So here's the deal. I'm a big fan of the Bible. Okay?
Good, I'm glad.
And if you have the chance to open it up to Psalm 127, you're going to read about the warrior who treats kids. They're like arrows in the hands of a young warrior.
Okay.
That's how the Bible describes them.
Kids are the arrows?
Kids are the arrows.
Okay.
In the hands of a young warrior.
Okay.
Okay, which means a couple things.
Throw them as often as...
No,
that's not... No. Okay.
Arrows, and so Psalm is this beautiful poetry. Okay?
Sure.
An arrow is handcrafted in the hands of the warrior.
Okay.
So the parents are hands-on with the use of this. Arrows are not meant to be displayed. They're meant to be sent. They're meant to be sent into action. So you're preparing this arrow to be used in an actual situation. So it's made durable, it's made strong, it's made ready. So when the time comes, it's ready to fly.
Wow.
Okay. Arrows are made to be defensive tools. They're made to be capable tools in times of safety, times of need, but also in times of providing. Okay? And I'm not reading some crazy stuff into this, okay?
Right.
You dig into scripture, that imagery is used for a reason because it's imagery that they would understand at the time. Just like Jesus used parables all the time, this poetry, like this parable that's being used, it's being used so that people understand, then could connect with something that they're using on a regular basis. I want to prepare my kid for the harshness of life. I want them to be ready so that when they walk out the door, when they start their own families, when they start school, when they start their careers, I want them to be ready. Me and my wife have a strong grip on their lives. So I would probably say another value, just to commit, The Hermans do things differently. We will always do things differently. So like, for instance, we don't do cell phones. We're not going to do cell phones until they can buy their own cell phone one day. We're not getting them a phone. They're not sitting on iPads all day. We're buying them mountain bikes. We're getting them skateboards. We're not sitting in front and chatting with people on Roblox. We're not playing Xbox for hours. Like, we have a handle on it. I don't care all your friends have cell phones at school. That's not my deal. Mm-hmm. You show me a piece of research that says giving a kid a cell phone with social media improves their life.
Yeah, it's not out there.
It's not, because it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. It doesn't exist. And I've been following this Instagram. So I got to send it to you.
Here we go.
It's a nostalgia one from the 90s.
I was about to say, it's so funny because I'm like, you just raising a 90s kid is what you're choosing to do.
Let me tell you about my life in the 90s, okay?
Oh, I can't wait.
My life in the 90s was, I wake up Saturday morning, I pour a bowl of cereal myself.
Frosted Flakes.
It was delicious. I throw on the TV. I watch cartoons that are made for me, made for a kid. Okay?
Sure.
I then hop on my bike, and that's assuming I didn't just have a sleepover. So assuming my buddy's not at my house or I'm not at his house. Then we hop on our bikes, and we go into the woods.
Yeah.
Basically the whole day.
Yeah, you're off the grid.
Like, hey, Justin, why are you taking a saw with you? Oh, we're building a fort. Okay, sounds great. Going into the woods, doing whatever. They don't know where I am. They can't get a hold of me. But guess what? When the sun goes down, I come home.
Yeah.
Right? And I have dinner. And we have dinner with us as a family. Or it's the best. Okay? Yeah. And we've replaced that. We go to the mall for hours and just hang out. And just
how much of this though is true for your kids today? Like literally gone for hours?
No. They can't be gone for
with
hours.
saws?
They can't be. I wish we could do this. But I want to put them in environments where they can have those kind of memory creating things. Okay. So we're going to put them on teams. We're going to kick them out the door to go out and play with kids in the neighborhood. Now, does that mean that I'm going to stay inside and I don't know where they are? Sadly, we can't. But guess what? Instead of working inside in my air-conditioned leather chair in my beautiful office, I'm going to sit outside. I'm going to watch them play. Or if they're going to go over to the park, across the street, I'm going to walk over there. It doesn't mean I'm going to stand right next to them and watch them, make sure they don't skin their knee with a bunch of Band-Aids. But I'm going to be around. I'm going to be present. Yeah. So there's the in-between of kind of actively present and non-existent, or knowing exactly where they are. Because, they have a phone and I can watch I get being able to watch your kid's location. Okay, I get it. Handing a kid a phone is giving them access to every piece of information that exists. Mm-hmm. Kids are not ready for that. Mm-hmm. There's no reason. When I had questions, I could go to my mom and I could ask her anything. Like, there's actually a beautiful thing between a parent and a kid where the parent is viewed as the source of information, not the cell phone. Yeah. So when I started, this is a parenting podcast. Okay. So when I started noticing girls differently.
Did you just figure out that this is a parenting
podcast? I'm deciding okay, how do I want to push this? It's like, no, this is a parenting. This is a totally legitimate thing. When I started having questions about girls, because I started noticing them differently, I could go to my mom about that. I didn't have to Google things in order to figure things out. Sure. I didn't have to go to influencers to tell me what to think. Do we never let our kids touch our phones? Of course we let them. There's times where, of course, and they scroll. I can tell after they've spent time on a phone, their behavior is a little different. Because kids are chameleons. They're made to be shaped. That's why God gave kids parents to do the shaping, not a bunch of influencers on YouTube. When they spend time being shaped, even for a little bit, through scrolling whoever, I can see their personality is a little different. The language they use is a little different. Their temperament is a little bit different because it's been immediately shaped by all these things they're taking in. Mm-hmm. Like, that to me is a red flag of they need less of this, not more of it. Now, there's a space for it, but not unlimited, not unregulated, not have it in your pocket. Mm-hmm. And so, I want them to have as much of a 90s kid life as possible. Like, I like playing video games with them, but I want to sit there doing it all day. Like, I want them out of the house. I like them climbing trees. I like them falling out of trees. I like them causing mischief in the neighborhood. Like, I'm fine with that. Yeah. Because there's a certain level of that's needed for boys to get out that energy. Yeah, totally. That boy energy is a real thing, and it's not solved with technology. Mm-hmm. Like, through centuries of life, technology has never been the solution for intense boy energy. there's no reason to think that just within the last 10 years, I guess technology is the new solution. It is not the new solution. It's actually what's holding back boy energy from being expressed more fully. And I want to let that boy energy kind of rage in a healthy way. Again, make mistakes so that dad can help shape that into, right decisions for the future. But don't just squander it. Don't put it in a bedroom on an iPad. Like that's
how are you? You said your oldest is 10.
Oldest is 10.
How are you creating a relationship where they do come to you with questions? And I'm asking this a little bit personally, and I'm sure that many people listening, you want that, you desire that with your kids. And I'm not saying that my kids are Googling things to figure some stuff out, but they're not necessarily coming to us with those big life questions. We still have to start most of those conversations that we're hoping to have. Is that true for you, or are you noticing that your kids are coming to you with some things that they want to understand better?
Yeah. Two things. One, I always tell my kids, like it's an explicit thing that we say.
Right. You can come to me for
which
anything.
I'm sure every parent says that, right? But we do it too. Second, I tell stories about my childhood to my kids all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of those stories, and I intentionally create it, but it's not like manipulative creation. A lot of my stories do revolve around, I go to my mom and I ask for whatever, or hey, Dad, have you ever been arrested before? Well, I've never been arrested, but one time when I was 17, the cops came home and then I had to tell my mom everything, and she was happy that I did, and she said, hey, if that ever happens again, you just call me because I'll come pick you up. No questions asked, no judgment, and that's your grandmother. I wish you would have met her. But like hearing things like that, like it's planting seeds that like
that's great, man.
Oh, I can call. So some of it needs to be through the lens of our own story, the lens of our own, like, this is what we learned with our parents. Like that generational thing doesn't just happen at Christmas and Easter. Like and I know some families, like they're apart, so they only get together like a couple times. But like that generational handing off of knowledge is through storytelling and sharing with your kids. Like, so that's another way. And I'd say the third way is when those things do come up, like we just tell them the truth. Like we're honest with them about it.
Sure.
We don't use kid words for stuff. Okay, so I want to preface this with, if any parent wants to hit pause right now, because we're going to talk about I'm going to give a holiday example. And I think you know what I'm talking about. So if any parents want to hit pause, now's the time to do it. If you're listening to
I like that
kids,
you're assuming that kids are listening.
Hey, put the
that are young enough to where I think you're about to go.
You just don't. You always got to play it safe, right?
Sure.
When my kids started questioning Santa and like having real like questions, okay?
I can't believe you did the Santa thing.
Guess what we did? We pulled him into a room and we told him the deal. Okay, we told him the deal.
Sure.
He was 8 years old and we told him the deal. And now we made him in on it. Okay, so now you're in on it. Okay, and that little thing, we didn't try to just widen the runway of the magic of Christmas for him for just another year because we want that.
Sure.
We let him in on it because once he started asking, it's like, okay, we let him in on it. And that, again, is another tell to a kid that I can come to mom and dad with stuff. When I have questions, they'll give me truthful answers.
Yeah.
These are honest brokers, honest players. They'll tell me what I need to hear.
Yeah. Like
that to a kid is really important. And I think it's something that will hopefully shape the relationship for years to come. I mean, honestly, I have this vision for my life. I'm sure everybody does. But I have a very distinct vision. And it's in two parts. One part, I want to be the older guy, the older dad, whose kids come to them about marriage advice, about, hey, Dad, I think I'm going to propose. Like, I want my kids to come to me with that. Like, how did you know that you were ready? Like, how did you know that she was the one? And then fast forward another 20, 30 years, I want to be sitting there with my wife, very old. Like, I'm talking like 70s. I want to be like really old. I know some people that think 70s is really old, but you'll get it. That's not really old. It's really old for the purposes of this vision that I have.
I'm going to let you keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going. I want to be 70, which for me is 30 years from now. Okay. I want to be 70 next to my wife at the head of a table with kids and grandkids all around the table, just looking at my wife, kind of squeezing her hand, just looking and be like, it was all worth it. Those late nights when they were getting out of bed, waking us up in the middle of the night, all the detentions or the issues or the mischief, like all the helping curb their behavior, it was all worth it at the end. like that's the future I want for my life. And I think it gets there by like little things like this. Like when your kids feel like they can come to you about anything, like it's adding to that future vision I have for my life that I think every parent has.
Yeah.
Like they want to be hey dad, what do you think about this investment? Hey dad, like I'm thinking about switching careers or switching companies. Hey dad, I'm thinking about like, hey mom, I'm thinking about staying home with the kids and, quitting the job and staying home to raise the kids like you did. Like, when did you make that decision? That's what we want.
Yeah.
And I want to get there.
I like what you're hitting about. There's cultural stories, the narrative around anything from technology to boy energy to Santa Claus. Like there is a cultural narrative. And then there's also the one that you're choosing, which is to play a part in some of those things, but then also to go, no, but we're going to also be very real and honest. I like how you talked about shaping your own stories that you tell about your upbringing so that you could create an open dialogue with your children where you're not always the hero. You didn't always get it right. You're modeling for them the kind of behavior or attitude, character that you want your own kids to have.
It's a double-edged sword though, by the way, because there'll be times where my kid will do something and he'll be like, well, Dad, you did the same stuff when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And the answer has to be, you're right, I did. So I'm not mad at you that you did it, but I want to make sure you learn the lesson from it. So I'm not disciplining the behavior. I'm disciplining the thing you did. Okay. So you are getting disciplined.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad that you did the thing. I want to make sure that you learn from this. I want to make sure you learn from this and, tell the truth. He gets in trouble. Most of my kids get in trouble most for trying to hide the truth.
Okay.
And they're manipulative. Kids are manipulative in general. My daughter's manipulative. Okay. One time my daughter didn't bring her Lovey to school with her. Okay.
What's a Lovey?
It's like, a little stuffed animal. She's in preschool. She didn't bring it with her. And then she didn't bring it with her the next day. And we come to find out that the reason she didn't bring it with her is because there's a Lovey that they have in the classroom that she gets to use if she forgets her Lovey.
Oh.
So she's purposefully leaving it at home so she can use this.
Yeah.
And it was all part of her master plan, this 5-year-old master plan. Okay, so these kids, they know what they're doing. My kids, like many kids out there, will hide what they did. They don't want to admit the whole truth. And they don't get in trouble for the thing they did typically. There'll be some discipline, but the real discipline happens when you don't take responsibility for it, when you try and hide it, when you try and manipulate around it. Like the bigger discipline comes from you trying to work your own way out of it instead of just coming to mom and dad and saying, you know what, I did this thing. I shouldn't have done it. I stole this thing and I feel guilty about it. Like, I need your help. Like, will you help me? What should I do? Like, come to us and tell us the truth. If we're asking you, tell us the truth, we'll help you. But if you're hiding it from us, if you're lying to us, like we're going to find out anyway. And that's what's going to be, because that lacks integrity for you not to be honest with mom and dad. Yeah. Like the implementation of learning those lessons, it's a hard thing.
It is, man. Well, Justin, we should do a part 2 at some point. Maybe in the next 10 years after your kids do get phones, and we'll talk about that.
Hey, listen, I've said that phone thing before. And parents will be like, oh, yeah, well, just wait until, they're older. Just wait till I'm telling you, man, we could talk about it in 10 years. I really feel so strongly about this because I could just imagine myself with a phone at 8 years old, 9 years old.
Sure.
It would just be so wild, the things that I would have been doing.
I fully expect the call from you someday. Faster than you realize. Where you cave, and it will be good for you as well. Let's do this as we can kind of close here. As you just think about 2026, we're heading into a new year. I do want to bring you back on at some point because I find you to be such a driven and disciplined person.
Oh yeah,
and I think it would be really fun to talk about that, how that shapes you, your marriage, your family. So we'll figure out a time. But as you're now thinking about 2026, just as we kind of wrap up here, what are you hoping for this year? Like what's on the horizon for you?
I want to create more and new healthy routines for the kids that are spiritually disciplined, spiritually motivated. The kids, we listen to, they listen to a podcast every morning. They listen to a podcast every night. We make that part of the spiritual routine. They have books that they read. They have other like Christian books that they listen to on their Yodo player. I want to create more opportunities for them to have regular rhythms of those things in their life, regular spiritual rhythms. I think I want to serve more as a family. I don't think we serve enough as a family. I think that's actually a good criticism for us. I think we need to serve more as a family. And I'd probably say, I think I want to make sure my kids are seeing me like flirting with my wife more. I want to go on more dates with her, but like I want to make sure that home doesn't become a sterile place. Like I think there's a place of healthy romance in the home, but that kids see between a husband and a wife.
Yeah.
And like I want to make sure that that's like that, 13 years into marriage, like it can be easy for that to dry, and I don't want it to. I want it to be as full of zest as possible.
Yeah.
So like I want to keep pursuing her. Like I want our marriage to be strong. But like I want it to be on display in the right ways for our kids. Like I think that's
as you say that right now. Brittany's listening. What is she doing? Is she shaking her head?
She is.
Is she laughing?
I think she's laughing because the way.
Something tells me that's not lacking in your home. Is why I'm pushing on this, Justin.
Okay, I don't think it's lacking in the home. I don't think it's lacking in the home, but I want more of it in the home. Especially as the boys get older. Like there's something unique about learning about healthy relationships by seeing it in your parents, and I want more of that.
Yeah, that's good.
And I don't think she would. I mean, I work from home, and and so she gets it a lot. Yeah, so there you go.
Incredible. You are a gift, man. Thank you. Thank you for the story of just God's redemption and what he's doing now in you and through you. You're raising a great family. You have a great marriage. You're a great pastor, good friend. Dude, so fun. We'll have to go on a run at some point just so I can remind you. Just so I can remind you.
I welcome that.
How far behind you are behind me.
We'll have a chance.
We will. Plenty of them. Well, hey, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for hanging out with Justin Herman and his great wisdom. If you hang out online, if you are on Mariners Online for a weekend service, jump into the chat, say hi to this guy. He thrives with that stuff, so we'd love for you to say hi to him. But we'll be back with another episode soon. Thank you so much for hanging with us.